I've got my good friend John Bowley from Building Specs Pros joining me here. He is a home inspector. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hi, Joe. How are you today?
Hey, I'm living the dream. Thank you so much for asking. So, you've been in this business for a very long time, and a lot of questions come in here to the radio program. And here's one that comes up a lot, and it has to do with the roof. And I know in your business, what you often do is when you roll up to the house to inspect, you start looking up and you look at things from the roof down. What are you looking for in that roof when you're looking at it?
So when we pull up, we're looking at the roof. That's the very first thing that's really critical because I want to see one, the type of roof it is, and two, can I walk on it? If I can walk on it, is it safe to walk on? That's why we always ask the age of the property because there's different types of roofs. There's a gable roof, there's a flat roof, there's a hip roof, and all those different types of roof hold different types of material. You might have a concrete tiled roof, you might have a clay roof, there might be asphalt shingles, and they're different types of material. Sometimes how the roof is maintained and whatever weather pattern you're in, it might take a beating. And we look for, is it safe to walk on, as I said. So I'm going to look up, see if I got to put my drone up and take a quick peek before I walk on it, or am I going to go in the property, in the house or a building, and get up in the attic and look at the framing before I walk on that roof.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can tell a lot about what might be going on inside by what might be attached to the roof, right? So you might see a satellite dish. Maybe it hasn't been used in years. Maybe it's disconnected. And so that would have been screwed to the roof.
Right. We find that quite a bit. There'll be apartment buildings that I do inspect, multifamily. We'll get up on the roof and we'll see the penetrations. And the cable guy's been there, the satellite dish guy's been there, and they'll actually penetrate the roof with a large screw. And then water gets in because they don't seal it, they don't protect it. They're not taught that way. They're taught to attach it to the roof and walk away. And then we come in and we find the leaks. The other penetration points are electrical. Sometimes you'll have solar that's improperly installed at called foot brackets, or they'll have what they call a carriage, and those carriages attached to the roof to hold the panels in place. That becomes a penetration point of leakage. I've gone to countless homes where they didn't repaper the roof. They just attached it. They gave them a deal and they did it wrong. So you have to pay attention to that.
You know, another item that can cause leaks, of course, are skylights.
Absolutely. A skylight is your worst enemy because sooner or later, what we call the curb to the skylight, that's what the skylight sets up on, a little curb. If it doesn't have the right counter flashing or papering there, it will leak. We'll go in the attic space and we see it all the time. You'll see the staining or the sun beats down on the lens and the lens is cracked. But now there's a new OSHA law for skylights, both in commercial buildings. They have to be fall protection. So they'll have a webbing over top of the lens cover. So we have to verify that's in place and the condition of the skylight.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider when you're getting a home inspected. And John Bowley's joining me here on the program from Building Specs Pros. He starts with the top down, the roof, and looks for different things that may be penetrating the roof. And it could be a lot of different things. Like he had mentioned, it could be a satellite dish, it could be cable coming into the home, could be some electrical wire for some reason, could be a skylight, all kinds of different things. And it's really important when you hire an inspector to ask them these questions. What do you look at first? And John, it's the roof.
Right. And don't forget about the other part. Water has to shed off of that roof. So you have to have a gutter system and a flashing system to protect the roofing material. So there's called what we call a drip edge. A lot of times that drip edge is improperly installed, not underneath of the asphalt shingles. Sometimes they'll be on top, or they'll put the paper uh, on top of the flashing when it's supposed to be tucked under. So there's methods to watching how the roof flashing is installed, because then it becomes leakage, because water and snow load, there's different things that can happen. Pay attention to your flashing. Number one thing, look at flashing.
Okay, everybody, when it's time to get that new home, make sure you get it inspected. John Bowley's information is located in the description of this podcast. Quick click away, and you can get a hold of him, and you can talk to him on the phone, and he can come out and take a look at the new home you want to buy. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Joe. Have a great day.